Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk, think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You want to be with DC and RA Minahan. The host can't see, it's Mike and the Minifans. And nobody's seen real MHB. This whole thing is a sham. You never see him pee, it's Mike and the Minifans.
Hey, how are you? Welcome to Mike and the Minifans, the longest hour in recorded broadcast history. I'm back after my week off. Thank you to the great CEO Menners for stepping in last week. We got two very, very special guests today. We have one of the best visually impaired people in the Kirk Minahan network, or Kirk Minahan show history, I would say. Number two, maybe number one. Blind Owl. How are you, Blind Owl?
I'm good, BA, and I'd say I'm a strong number two, and it's about time a blind guy got back on the show. That's what I'll say.
That's true. I always say my name's Mike, and like I have like a -4.5 prescription, so I'm kind of blind as well.
Close enough. I mean,
yeah. So it's like I'm kind of like the Jon Snow of Mike and the Minifans, like the rightful heir to the
hey,
throne.
you know.
Gig, and then we have everyone knows Gig, a top 10 KM Kirk Minahan show contributor on the official top 50 Minahan show list. Gig, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be fanboyed by Andrew Augustus so hard. Good to know there's going to be at least one pallbearer at my funeral.
It's kind of crazy. Like, you weren't on the list at all, and then you get to number 10. So it's like it's pretty fucked up.
Well, number 10 was the Minifan, so I think he just picked me. Last night, someone said, "Do you think you believed it belonged on the list?" And I was like, "Absolutely fucking not. I've had nothing to do with the show ever." So
the list that Augustus put together or whatever, I think he said it. He went through it today or yesterday. But that was not even close to the list that they went through on the actual top 50. Like the list on the top 50 show was nothing close to Augustus' list. So it's fucking nuts. But crazy. A 5-show week. Thank you, Kirk. So much to discuss. But I wanted to start it off with I think we're missing. The network sucks. Look, the Kirk Minahan network says the network sucks. This is crazy.
Perfect.
We'll get into that a bit, but I wanted to start with all these Minifans. Oh, this is a burner account, but let's get into it. I want to start with Gus.
Menners.
I was hoping Menners would pop on, but I think he's going to pop on later. We're going to really get into the nitty gritty of the network, but I wanted to start with Gus.
Hi, honey. Yes, I'll be on later. Hello, guys. Have a great show. I'm just winding you up. All you ever get is shit from Kirk. Gig, are you transitioning like Tony Cass?
True. No, buddy. No.
Wow.
I'm fucking.
Have you got eyeshadow on or eyeliner?
No.
He kind of looks like a real life bicentennial man.
He's definitely transitioning. It's okay, man. You can be fine.
I'm a 46-year-old man, Menners, that's taking care of myself. You ought to fucking learn how to do it, you chubby fuck.
Have a great show, guys. I'm going to jump on with BA towards the end.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
Right, thanks. So actually, Kirk is calling my leadership team in the network, mini Menners, mini Mad Menners, and the cunt, the axe, the cunt. And you know what? They're not. The cunt is a beautiful woman. She's not a cunt, and the axe is not a cunt. Great. So I love the leadership team here, but I wanted to start with Gus. Kirk said that he thinks Gus's tenure has been underwhelming. He's been underwhelming to start off. I want to, like, what is he doing? He's like, every day he's putting in timestamps, but there's never like live clips. so I don't know what he's doing there. He eats edible. He ate edibles. A wacky moment. He refuses to try ketamine. Trung seems to be the best asset. So what? I don't know. What are your thoughts on Gus? Like, what grade would you give him? I guess, and like, what is he doing? And I'll start with you, Blind Owl.
Well, I'm a Gus guy. I have been since day one. He's exactly what you wanted. You didn't like when you had Steve or Conan. You couldn't do any of that, quote unquote wacky shit, because they needed to run the show. Now that Coleman's there, you can have somebody just to do the stupid shit and take 500 milligrams of edibles and all that. And Kirk knew he was going to have to beat someone up, and he picked Gus to beat up, and Coleman just lets the show run. That's what he's there for.
So, like, yeah, and Kirk said it this week. He's like, I just love looking at Gus. And when I was in studio, and I know a lot of other people are in studio, when they see Gus through the booth, it's like, it's one of the funniest things. So I think that's his biggest aspect. But I think a lot is being promised about this. Oh, this vlog cam's coming, and this is coming. But I don't know. I think Gus has lacked something that I think he can. This is a great opportunity to grab the bull by the horn, take it over, and I think he's lacking a bit. Gig, what do you think about Gus?
I think like when you have like really, really high highs, it's tough to maintain that, and I think that's where Gus is. Like he has these really high moments, like getting like the shot caller, for instance. It's kind of hard to live up to that on a daily basis. So you kind of get fucked in that way. But one thing that Gus has that I think a lot of people don't understand is when Coleman's taking those calls, Gus is moving the volume up and down. And that's fucking important, man. Like, that takes a lot of skill. Oh, yeah. But in all actuality,
if you put Blind Owl's hand on that thing, he could do that, like. So.
Well, Blind Owl can do a lot with his hands, I'm sure. I mean, he said he used a lot.
Trust me, I know.
So, but Gus, I think, is actually a little bit brighter than everyone thinks, and I'm excited for the blog, and hopefully he can get Coleman to fucking Santa's Village, whatever the fuck that's gonna do. But we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
what a waste of a trip that would be.
No doubt.
Like, I don't know. I love Gus on the show. He makes me laugh. Just like he just is a guy. He talks and he makes me laugh. And I think Kirk making fun of him is always going to be great. But I think like after the show, like because everyone was like, "What does Cullinane do after the show?" I think Gus has lacked that a bit, and I think he'll get better. But I think they're because the Kirk Minahan show should be essentially a 24-hour nonstop, like stuff should be happening. And I think it dies down still. Like I'll go to their.
So what do you want? You want to watch Gus sit in his fucking underwear eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something, bro? I mean, what do you want to see here?
I don't know. I really don't know. That's my problem. So like I'm being kind of critical, but I don't know what he could do. But I think there's something, or he should be trying something. I don't know. Like maybe utilizing the network a bit more. Maybe use it to do some stuff. I was saying, I think with the Gus, Coleman, and Josh, like why don't they do a their weekly meeting on the network, or do like a show or a meeting on the network or on the YouTube? Like I don't know, is that something you would be interested in or not really?
A weekly producer show wouldn't be a terrible thing. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some tension between Coleman and Gus at one point. So it's going to. I mean, the real KNC did it back on the EEI days, and that was great. But I mean, could it be weekly and just do a little,
like I was thinking something like Josh could do, where he's hosting these two guys. He hosted it's these two guys, and they discuss like the vision for the show, ideas. All the ideas, all this stuff, how to incorporate the fans. Like, who cares? It's like a brainstorm,
Yeah, sure.
Weekly, and then Bueller, the weekly sales call. Get Montante in there. Okay, Montante, you closing deals? Like have this as a meeting of the minds, maybe if you think.
You will.
But but it's a business, right? So you can make it funny, incorporate the fans, but also, so I think they're lacking a little bit of that.
What if they go cold calling, BA? Like get them like knocking on doors and cold calling
That would be funny. That's a great idea.
That takes a lot of fucking balls too, to like just go and like knock on, be like, "Hi, I'm Gus and I'm Coleman from KMF," and, you know, like have a pitch and everything. That takes balls.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like I think the reason to have a Minifan as a Gus in there is to be like, okay, be the bridge between the Minifan, their crazy ideas, their content, and translate it to the show. And I see where Menners is getting mad, where it's not always about the network, but has the Minifan aspect of the show improved with this or with Gus, or has it been stagnant? So those are my thoughts.
I'll definitely say that there's never been like Steve nor Cullinane has ever been nearly as willing to do stuff with the network or the Minifans in general as much as Coleman and Gus appear to be. Those guys care.
That was when it was one person doing what seems to be a 3-person job. Apparently, now that there's 3 of them. So
I know Cullinane.
Maybe these three can spread out a little bit more of the responsibility and really make it easier for, to do that kind of stuff.
Well, it can't get any worse than like Cullinane giving the responsibility to Justin for the fucking Sacco show, and costing the show $29,000, and me and Tony having to go pick up the fucking stage and assemble it.
Cullinane did confirm that. Let's not forget.
Actually, Roscoe, great point. So the big controversy of the week, Allison versus Montante. The Axe has been trying to get them together. Montante said he could come on. Ali said she wants nothing to do with it. I'll break it down a little bit. So Allison was on Mike and the Minifans. Ali, she was on Mike and the Minifans, and I introduced her as Stooley Clubhouse's third chair, aka the Mike Montante of Stooley Clubhouse, right? As a joke, she said, "Don't do this. Don't compare me to that guy." Then, apparently, at Cornhole, Mike Montante goes up to Ali. He says, "Oh, you're the one online. You must hate me." And with all seriousness, she looked back at him and said, "I just think you're an asshole and a trash person." So
not wrong.
So I think could this be a lover's quarrel? Like, can Ali be negging Montante? She wants to get a piece of the action, so to speak, or is she just a super lib and she's a super lib? She hates Montante being conservative. What do you think, or do you think this is just overblown? What do you think, Gig? What do you think?
Well, all right. First of all, like I think there was a little bit of confusion, like on the show, as far as like Allison, the 90210 caller, and then Allison. It's all the same Allison.
No. So it's not Allison T Box. It's Ali. It's Ali. She was on Mike and the Minifans and she was part of Stooley Clubhouse Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
This isn't Allison T Box.
Okay. All right. So what do I think? It's getting blown out of proportion? Like if that's really what fucking happened, if she called Montante a trash person, I'd be like, well, what the fuck's your problem? You know what I'm saying?
I was saying they have an open invite to come in. If they want to come in at any point during the show, reach out to the Axe. You could come in and we could get this going, because this is what Kirk Minahan called for as
we can hammer this out.
We can hammer this out. We got Blind Owl. He could see deeper than people believe.
If Adam the Jew can broker peace between Hamas and Israel, then
yes,
I think Blind Owl can do that between those two.
But Blind Owl, do you have any thoughts on Montante versus Ali? Is it a lover's quarrel? Is it negging to get Montante's dick? Is it lib versus conservative?
I think it just comes down to lib versus conservative. I think she's just, and I'm sure Montante said something about Stooley Clubhouse, and he'll joke around, and anyone on that show doesn't seem very in on the joke about anything.
The chat wants them to come on. So like I said, open invite to both of them.
We want them on.
We want them on. We would love them on. Speaking of Jews, you brought it up. Gig. So the top 10 lists have been a wild success on TikTok and Instagram. They do generally get the most views on there, But what I noticed is they did not add the top 10 Jews clip on those platforms. Now,
I wonder why.
But it's like, is Coleman scared? Is that Kirk saying, hey, maybe don't put this on there? Or they actually, when they were listing the top 10 Jews, they missed number 5. I think they missed one of they went from like 6 to 4. So was it because they fucked up the numbers? Why did they not add the top 10 Jews? Is it because of the political environment? Because that could have got a lot of buzz, good or bad. It could have been a big one. But whose decision? Like, was it what do you think, Blind Owl?
I think that was just do we really need that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. Nothing bad was said, but in any top 10 list of Jews without Ben Stein is just a criminally inaccurate list.
So you're saying the list was inaccurate?
Yeah, I mean, any Ben Stein, Bill Goldberg, these are just names you need on there.
But see, this could have been debate in the sound off in the comments. This could have been a great timing post, and it seems like the Coleman get too cold feet. I don't know. I don't think Kirk would care if it's out there.
I don't think this was a Kirk.
What do you think, Gig? Would you have clipped the top 10 Jews and posted it on all platforms?
Oh, 100%. I don't think nothing would boost morale right now in Israel like that top 10 list. Although they did leave out Hall of Famer Rod Carew, and
wasn't he Jewish 2 different times?
Well, he converted.
Wow. Putting Adam the Jew at 1, I started laughing so much, and then having the Larry Curly, like the Three Stooges on there, or whatever.
You got to have the Three Stooges on there. I mean,
yeah, I didn't even know that. I was like,
I didn't know they were Jewish at all.
Yeah, so it's like, especially in this situation, with a little levity to the situation. I know you have Adam the Jew on board probably, so I would really wonder whose decision was this. And so how are you liking the top 10? Do you think it's gonna get corny, or do you like it looks like Kirk's embracing it, trying to buy into like a Coleman idea? What do you guys think?
I think this will just be one of those things. It has its time, and then it just kind of fades away. And then
I think Kirk's a fuck ton better at making lists than Mayo is. I'll say that right now.
I think they need to go 10 to 1 though. They can't go 1 to 10.
Well, like it gets clipped up. That's why they do it that way.
No, but they do on the clips. They go 1 to 10. Like,
oh, do they? I don't.
Yeah, they don't reverse it. Like they don't or transpose it on the clips. I think. Like, do you have any top 10 ideas? Like, what do you think a good list would be?
I mean, top 10.
Maybe they do
podcasts?
top 10 failed podcasts. Top 10. They could have done top 10 Muslims.
Sure. Muhammad Ali's got to be on the list.
If they're doing the Jews,
Barack Obama,
do the Muslims. Obama. Yeah. Dan Berner. Let's go, BA. Let's go. What do you think? Any ideas?
Male porn stars.
Oh, I was gonna say any porn stars would be fine.
Porn stars would be great. Yeah. I think like. You see, this is a perfect opportunity. The Gus Coleman, Josh show. Hey, give us some top 10 list ideas. I think they need to do something like that to get back in. But maybe I'll discuss this more with Menners. But so top 10 lists
categories.
Wow, top air like me, or even in the chat they're saying top Arabs would be great. That would be great.
Sure.
So what do you think about this movie watch along controversy? Clemmer being a great baby back bitch, such a pussy.
Well, that's
take shit. My ball and go home. Oh, if you don't want me to do a theater near me, I think this would be great to have the competing shows. I think it does better for both of them. What do you guys think about the theater now me? Oh, Gig has Ewoks locked in the basement.
Oh,
wow!
Maybe. I wouldn't put it past him.
Wow. Crazy.
But
what do you guys think?
I mean, creating and having an opposing podcast is never a bad idea. Competition, makes things better.
I can't believe he fucking rolled over like he did. Honestly,
I know
that's fucking pathetic.
That was
because that's his shit. And you have of all people, Brandon Walker running to his fucking his defense to do it.
It's when you're screwed.
I got a bone to pick with Clemmer. I made Clemmer after at a theater near me, he was going to do a show about movies that were in the I might be talking out of school right now.
Movies
but he was going to make
movies of the millennium. I remember.
Yeah, like it was going to be like a 2000s oddity, right? Mm-hmm. It was just movies of the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Can you make me a logo?" And I did, and he owes me a fucking dinner. So
Yeah, well, you're not gonna get that dinner.
Seems like both of you and Clemmer are skipping dinners, brother. So
yeah, bro. Yeah.
I was saying this. If I was saying this last night with Gig to Jay's Mayhem, I was saying the network, the network or someone should do should go against these guys as well and do every day do a movie watch along with Minifans. So different movie every day where it's on the network and you do a movie watch along. I think Jay from Lynn could do it or someone could do it. So I thought that would be that. Maybe I'll pitch it to Menners to stick it to Kirk, to stick it to Kirk.
I mean, Jay would have to do cartoon movies, right? That's the only ones he can watch.
GB said Clemmer never calling into the show just shows he's out on the show. So I don't know, Clemmer, that's a pussy move, and and Kirk was right about Kirk is right about Merchant Smile. I can't believe he just rolled over either. I was bummed. Kirk was right about Clemmer is like he's looking for that attaboy from like the losers at Barstool, like the bottom of the bottom of Barstool, the Gias, the macro dosing girl. I didn't say broad, I said girl.
You did.
All those losers. He's looking for like.
Do you think people like really like Frank the Tanks, that whole thing? I'm not like a huge fan of that bit myself. Like
I'm not a huge Frank the Tank guy either. Yeah,
it's too much. It's like, okay, who's this for?
So what do you guys think? Do you think Clemmer will finish, or you have more faith in a Minifan? Dan Berner is asking.
Oh, there's much more faith in a Minifan. Clemmer's proven somebody who's already proven he can't do it. He's gonna try to do it again.
What did he get? COVID? Is that what happened? Is that why he stopped?
Yeah.
He got COVID, right?
Yeah, and he went to a show with COVID and then stopped the next day.
Yeah. And people now, I've been saying this for years. If you don't get tested, you don't get COVID. So I think people are finally on it. Clemmer's a snake. Roscoe said always has be, always will be. So
he's one of those social climbers. He'll just kind of, whatever environment he's in, he'll mold to that. And then if it doesn't work out, he'll go to something else.
Yeah, it was such a pussy move. Like it's a take your ball and go home.
That's exactly
take
what
my podcast and go home. Like fuck you. Like just do it. Be like fuck you, Kirk. This is mine. I'll do it. I'll like have some gusto, But
yeah, I think it'd be great if like Clemmer figured out like if there was a Minifan that went and did it, and Clemmer just fucking harassed that person while they were doing it. Like sat behind him and threw fucking popcorn and just made like slash their tires so they couldn't go. His whole thing was just trying to inhibit that person from doing their job.
And if Clemmer did it, the Minifan who does it, that should be their job. Harass them. It just
fucking war.
Yeah, exactly. That would be great ratings.
Yeah, it would be great. It would be. I think Justin is like if it was a Clemmer versus Justin like battle, that would be great.
Justin would destroy him.
That would be great. That would be funny. And I probably wouldn't listen to the actual shows, but like the Twitter drama and like the mixing it up online, that would be so funny. So I think Clemmer's an idiot. I think you said he's a social guy. Like he grabbed Carano's cock to get to the Kirkman show. Now he rode Kirk's dick. Now he's trying to fuck Portnoy. He's negging Portnoy to fuck him. Yeah. And then I don't know who's gonna after Portnoy, who maybe
Tucker he tried Big Cat and went to Portnoy.
Yes, that's your Big Cat. I don't think Big Cat likes him at all.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. He tried Big Cat and it didn't work, so he went to Portnoy.
Yeah, Big Cat, because I watch the Yak quite a bit, and Big Cat's always like, I don't really know Clemmer that well.
I think he's reaching for Francesa, though. That's
you think
that's his peak. That's where he wants to make it to.
Oh, okay, after Portnoy's Francesa. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be So Clemmer, low on Clemmer, very low moment for Clemmer. Hopefully could rebound. So speaking of Big Cat, surviving Barstool, there's been a lot of innuendo speculation being dropped. Kirk said a new huge enemy has arose in the Barstool ranks, an unexpected one. Wag said BA would never grab a dick for clout. That's true. I wouldn't. But a new
grab a pork roll.
That's right. Maybe. Pork roll, whatever it's called.
Grab him by the pork roll.
You know what's funny? When these guys say Canadian bacon, I get so mad. Like, no one in Canada calls something Canadian bacon. I'm pretty sure it's ham.
It's because it's just bacon. There.
No, bacon is not. Bacon in Canada is the same. It's not. It's bacon. You know, it's bacon. And
isn't Canadian bacon just ham?
Canadian bacon's ham. I think it's like a little. I think so. I don't know. It's fucking. Or is it female bacon? I don't know. I get pissed when people say Canadian bacon, but. You know that I'll save that for another show. The so a new enemy has emerged, and so Kirk's had some innuendo. He seems down on Big Cat, so I'm speculating it might be Big Cat. Stephen Che, he went off on Stephen Che as well, like after they played his video.
Yeah.
And Erica Nardini has caught the bird. Like who do you think this new enemy at Barstool is? Because I'm my guess is it's Big Cat. I'm thinking it's Big Cat. I think Big Cat and Che did something that rubbed Kirk the wrong way. What do you guys think, Gig? I'll start with you.
I'm maybe it's the old bait and switch, and maybe it's too fucking obvious. But like what happened today, with the bracket and Erica, being. I mean, I would lean towards that. I mean, it seems like the obvious, and maybe I'm just a fucking idiot, but I'd say it's Erica.
The Erica thing seems more like he went after her on, Sunday or Tuesday, whenever it was, and then he's just kind of riding that. But I think BA's on his own. I think it's the whole Yak crew. They probably came together and Surviving Barstool and voted him out or something. So.
Interesting. What about Hank? Yeah, they haven't really talked about Hank. That's interesting. But yeah, you're thinking it's a Yak crew. They teamed up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or it could be someone that just wasn't even not mentioned. Really,
actually been hinting a little bit at KFC too.
I was about to say,
I was going to say Kevin.
KFC, which would be great. KFC's a loser.
Which is funny because he said. So I've noticed this. He said him and Will Compton were texting the other day. So like they kind of. They if he's not going to say that if they have a beef, he said he
liked Nate today.
He said he liked Nate today. Yeah, he's like, you know what? I don't mind Nate. So it's he's dropping hints, so if there's a Big Cat Kirk like rival, I think that would be great because Big Cat is dropping in the like the Barstool Minifan rank, so to speak. Like I think Jeff D. Lowe is climbing up. You could tell he's an actual fan of the show. Like he knows Mayo, he knows like the bracket, he knows like these inside things that like Jeff.
He's a listener for sure.
He's a full time. He's not like all these other guys. Like I think Rico listens live sometimes, catches clips. Big Cat is definitely just a clip guy online. But Jeff D. Lowe seems like he watches every show. So like, I think he's rising. He's rising in the ranks. I have to say, I used to not like Jeff D. Lowe as much, but over the past year, he's moved up in my books. But
I'm not a huge Jeff D. Lowe guy, but like you said, he's kind of growing on me.
Yeah, on the show he's not bad. Like that was a funny move today with the donuts. I like his Cully consulting. He kind of stole my joke, but that's okay. Like I'm cool with people stealing my jokes. But a great video for Sacco. Jeff D. Lowe's probably watching right now. I wanted to. I think I'm gonna reach out and say hey, because I think it'll be funny if Jeff D. Lowe comes on Mike and the Minifans and we just straight talk Kirk. Like we don't try to suck his dick like Clemmer would. Like just keep
I'd like to. I'll invite Jeff D. Lowe over to come if he wants to come play with Star Wars stuff. He can come over and play.
Yeah. But
and we can have Subway subs, but we won't be eating tuna with fucking bacon and jalapenos and all the other bullshit. What is Mayo doing? It kind of makes you wonder what other advice he would take from fucking Jared Fogle. It's like what the fuck?
Well,
what advice he has already taken?
Yeah, right.
I thought Mayo, it was kind of I don't know. Maybe I think I think I may have to re-listen to this one, but the Mayo episode today, I think was the lowest one of the week. I thought John was good. If I was doing my weekly rankings,
gotta get your poll. Gotta vote on that poll.
I think Friday would be the lowest, but Mayo, I don't know what. I don't even. I was trying because I always try to. What did he say about these sandwiches or whatever he puts? What the tuna sandwiches?
Like, he's got fucking.
He's got everything.
Lettuce, bacon, tomato, onion, jalapeno, bacon. he fucking had everything on a regular tuna fish, and then he's like says something about like, it's like, oh, I can't eat that because of the fucking gluten. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, pal? I love Mayo though. Mayo, I love him. He's a fucking.
I like Mayo. Less is more with him. Like Kirk said it before. He's been in a lot recently.
Yeah, with Mayo's less is more. I think when he starts feeling himself, then it's like, okay, Mayo, calm the fuck down.
And Montante is great too. I just want Montante to be a fucking man, though. You know, like not like some like puss bag from fucking New Jersey. I want Montante to like chew holes in sheetrock. You know, like be like, where do I go pee when my fucking old lady's taking a dump, dude? Hanging out the fucking door and take a piss, Montante. Why is this even a fucking question?
Like pee in the sink, pee in a cup, pee in anything.
Yeah, I thought that whole like Cullinane saying, "Oh, pee in the sink is disgusting." Like, fuck you. Like, you could pee in the sink, but also peeing outside is better than the sink. So, or I rather.
I'm a good pee outside guy.
Yeah, pee outside. I actually sometimes prefer peeing outside than the toilet. Sometimes, you know, you have more,
especially when you've got aim issues like myself.
Yeah, that's
drinks one leg.
Patrick Ford said Mayo's awful. I think Patrick Ford is a solid guest because he picks his battles. He doesn't talk too much. Third chair on third chair. Hey, Montante threatening someone's life online. The wives are worried about him. The wives are like, what the fuck is wrong with this crazy guy? But he is kind of like, he's like this macho man, but like you said, he's a little bit of a pussy. Like, he's pissing outside. He's probably sanitizing his hands and stuff. You know, so
right after he gets his jab, and you know,
threatening people's lives is par for the course in the fantasy football leagues. I
was gonna say, I've had my life threatened several times this year.
Yeah,
I know,
and I would do exactly the same thing he did. That fucking trade proposal was absolutely wretched. So, and, you know, I'm in a league with Steve from Providence, and Steve from Providence kid runs his team, and nobody makes worse trade offers than Steve from Providence kid. Like, you know,
you're in a league with Steve from Providence's kid.
Well, it's technically, you know, Steve from Providence's team, but his kid runs it, and he makes the same exact trade offers. And it's like, go fuck yourself, kid. You know?
Nothing more annoying than that guy in a fantasy league who just sends you the garbage trades.
Yeah. Like he thinks you're gonna like be sleeping and like click yes or something one day.
Exactly.
I can't believe someone would actually like this guy would be like, I can't believe you threatened me. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is this guy's problem?
It was a really
It was kind of aggressive.
You're talking like the guy was kind of aggressive by leaving the league.
Yeah, that's a little aggressive of a move. Like, come on, say what the fuck you talking about?
It's Clemmer-esque. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm going home. You know, Patrick Ford is really out on Mayo. He's accusing him of emailing Nardini. I don't think it was Mayo. Mayo was so mad about the 5K. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yes,
he would go on and on about it because he's like, you guys. I don't even know what his point was. It was so.
It was funny. It's something I caught like on today's show was when Mayo was talking about Portnoy having the ability when someone attacks Portnoy can always say, like, look, I bailed out all these businesses. And he goes, with the pizza fund. And that was something else that Mayo was always bitching about.
Oh, he bitched about that to no end.
Fund,
oh, my God.
That was a Freudian slip right there.
I remember in the Discord when it was that because Kirk did like some ask me anything or Steve didn't ask me anything. And I was supposed to be the guy. It was supposed to be me going through Steve's lies. Like, it was supposed to be a
lie
joke.
Detective test, yeah.
It was supposed to be a joke. Like, I had the list of lies, and then these guys could take it over and start saying like, oh, you guys, this was supposed to be a billboard. Now it went to pizzas. Like, who gives a fuck about that shit? You know, like, I don't know, it was crazy. That's when Kirk, he did. That was the first time I think I was mentioned on the show. He was like this fucking drunk Canadian running the Discord. So I got a ricochet shot there. So hopefully,
I mean, if Mayo pisses anyone off enough, I'm sure that video of him sitting there in the Muslim garb is still floating around somewhere.
we had
still shots for sure.
So a new at the beginning it seemed like it was going to be a new Kirk Minahan enemy. It seems like a new Kirk Minahan partnership. Kirk with the Abel brothers. What do you guys think about this? You Rough and Rowdy fans? What do you think? Go. I'll start with you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like, my ex drummer lives in Pittsburgh. I know a bunch of people that live in Pittsburgh, and no one I know from that area has an accent like that guy. That guy sounds straight from Alaskan bush people. He sounds like that guy from Alaskan bush people. I don't know much about these guys at all. Rough and Rowdy's good. I mean, I did a little bit of work for Tim and his documentary that's out there.
Okay.
Or
you want to plug it?
Yeah, Shazat the Rizat. Go support Tim in his documentary. He buried a whole shit ton of money, and he needs to recuperate some of that. So.
How do you make that money back? You have to like sell it.
Crowdsourcing.
Yeah,
that's what it is right now.
You make money off Shazat the Rizat. Like,
I think Shazet's had enough fucking airtime this week. Can we just like move on, please? I mean, Jesus. Fucking hell.
Speaking of people who have had enough airtime, one just left.
No shit. God,
I wanted to stay on. I wanted
to
stay on for the Manners. You can stay on the rest of the show, though.
Yeah, please do. I love them.
Big
Somebody's got to.
But yeah, I don't really get the whole Shazat thing. So thank you, CEO Manners. But Able Brothers, what do you like? See, Bio, do you Blind Owl? Do you watch Rough and Rowdy, or do you listen to Rough and Rowdy?
Not really. It's more of a visual medium. But there's a word in education that we use to describe people like the Able Brothers, and it starts with an R. I'll say that.
Okay. Is that the official word, or maybe
absolutely
in the 80s?
Developmentally disabled is the official
okay.
word. Yes.
DD.
Yes, and those, and like Gig said, I know a few people from Pittsburgh, and nobody sounds like that.
Well, I won't say the name of their podcast, but I did coin that term in 2020. So they are stealing my jokes. Then they said autocorrect. They're like, oh, that was autocorrect, and that
was supposed to be.
Yeah, no, but that was what I said. That was my joke too. I'm down on the Able Brothers. I think Kirk should be teaming up against them. But in all honesty, I'm kind of joking there. But all honesty, I like Rough Around. The Able Brothers are really they're really funny in Rough and Rowdy, and they're so I think a Kirk Able Brothers connection would be great for the whole production, because it's all comedy, right? It's all them making fun of them the whole time. So I think it'd be great.
I don't think those two are in on the joke, and I think Kirk would be in on the joke that they're mocking them. So yeah. I don't know. It could be entertaining to watch from that perspective.
Him talking about Kirk like to the audience or whatever was so funny.
It's the third person. I was like, "What's this about?"
Yeah. That was so funny. So a couple more things, and then I guess Menners could hop on, because I'm about ready to get into the net with the Menners. It's Menners versus the world, so we'll get into that soon. But I think what are your thoughts on Coleman? I think he's getting better as he goes. I know Menners is kind of down on his story picking abilities, but I have to say, he's getting better and better each week at the drops.
Menners is only mad at his story picking ability because it has nothing to do with Menners.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's like I don't think his story picking abilities has been great, in all honesty.
No, he's just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks.
And I think in time that he'll have more chemistry, see what Kirk likes.
No context is great, though. I really like that, and I really like, even little simple stuff like timestamps. I don't know if he's responsible for that, but I have a feeling that he is.
Maybe that's Gus. Maybe that's the Gus writing it down, because the timestamps I noticed, they are now that, because Cullinane, he would be like calls and he would put the shortest description. Now they have the timestamps.
And what a fucking nerd! I'm all like, oh, fucking timestamps.
No, but it's true. So maybe that's what Gus is doing by writing down the timestamps. So
maybe I don't know. The timestamps don't do much for me, but
yeah. Dan Burner say he doesn't run out of topics, which is fair. I thought the topic, the Canadian. I was glad he brought up Pierre Poilievre, the running against Trudeau, the Canadian, bringing I think more Canadian politics. It's really spicy.
That'll move the needle.
I think it will. I think it will. True. I think it will. People hate people. Honestly, when I was in Saco, the one thing everyone came up to me was like, "Oh, do you like that loser Trudeau?" Like that was what that was the first thing they said to me. So I think he's on to something there. But his drops are getting better and better, I have to say, and he's he's finding a rhythm with the drops. But what do you guys liking Coleman so far? I think he's done good.
I'm a Coleman guy. I mean, I'm a little older than him. He's got a younger spin on things, but Kirk brings it back to the normally aged people, and he says like those phrases he uses like off the rip. I didn't know what that meant.
Wasn't there someone like back, like we're talking 2019, 2018, that used to grab drops out of some of the old shows? Wasn't there a Twitter account that used to do that? That was one thing I was thinking about when we were on the road, was if there was someone that could help Coleman out with some of the older shows, providing some drops, because there were some fucking great drops from some
I think that's what Gus should. It's one thing Gus should be doing.
Yeah, that's a great idea. He needs to, like, Gus has the, because Coleman's still relatively new, so he doesn't remember
He just gotta rip through the catalog and just kind of literally say to Gus, "What is this from? What is this from?"
Well, the Minifans could help out with that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking whole series of like excellent drops to go out there and try and find them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Coleman, you know what, I'm liking Coleman. I think he'll get a little bit better with the stories. But a lot of the chat saying it's like, at least he doesn't run out. He's coming in prepared. He's coming in with a lot of stuff.
Kid's hungry.
He's getting after it.
I think it's true. The GB is right. They need to bring back Steve's abortion noise for the back callers, or something a la that, or something else. He needs to come up with his own one. So that's that.
Even like Steve going like, "That's disgusting."
That would be a good one.
We need some of that shit too. See some Steve drops. You need some Steve drops.
Yeah, a little bit of Steve going on there. We need a
that would be good. That would be good because that makes that actually makes the bad calls funny when you get because the calls have been a little bit rough to listen to the last few shows.
A little bit slow, yeah. A little bit slow.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if they just use Steve drops for ridiculing bad callers. Like no other time, just use the Steve drops for ridiculing fucking bad callers.
I mean, it's an idea. I mean, but the Steve abortion thing came up kind of naturally. When they first were taking calls, he would just hang up on them. He does kind of Coleman does have a quick trigger. He'll learn that.
Justin puking is it like that was right before that drop.
Well, there
Justin,
you go.
That could be in there too.
Sure, any number of things.
Yeah, I think he has to come up with something all the time. Gig, you were at one of the biggest Minifan events of 2023.
I think my invite got lost. In the mail.
Your invite got lost?
Yeah,
maybe you didn't see it. Maybe
that's true. He didn't send it in Braille. I couldn't read it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kirk didn't show up. That's
Sheldon for North Dakota's wedding. Sheldon looked like he had a notebook with like he was gonna write dimensions in his pocket from the wedding. Like he wore like he was out gonna be farming to the wedding. It was funny. I saw some pictures. Well, how was the wedding? It
was exactly everything that you would expect it to be. It took place in an Elks Lodge.
Ooh,
there was about 100 people, and we had tacos. There was a taco buffet, and for dessert we had donuts.
Okay. Wait, so the food at the wedding was tacos? It was that
absolutely 100%.
Up in North
Tony
Dakota,
and I drove.
That's foreign food. That's
we drove fucking 2,400 miles to have tacos in North
Were they
Dakota.
At least good?
Yeah, actually, it was like
nothing wrong with a good taco.
Open bar? Open bar?
Not an open bar. I don't believe. I don't drink anyway. So
okay.
But I will say, like, Sheldon has a lot of Sheldon's close friends all hail from this one bar called Vicky's. It's this dive bar, and they're all chicks, right? And progressively, as we met each chick, every one of them got a little bit more crazy, to the point where Sheldon's mother was telling us a story about his dad was giving Sheldon shit about, he's like, you drive the combine, I'll drive the baler because I don't want you to fuck up the baler. And lo and behold, Sheldon's old man ran over a fence post and got it stuck in the baler. And this one chick from Vicky's, here's the story. She's walking by. She's like, all I want's a fence post stuck in my baler. Like, all these old ladies. And shit.
Damn. Damn. I should have came. I probably could have got laid that weekend.
Let me tell you who
could have put my cane to some good work.
Let me tell you who's a fucking pussy magnet.
Who?
Ziggy Robinson.
Ziggy, yeah, he has that pencil neck, like nerdy kind of look, but he had like a little bit of a bad boy. Like
got the he must make money, but in some sort of illegal way, kind of.
Yeah,
and all these chicks were like, "You're from Massachusetts?" Like he's like Clark Kent, like from the fucking metropolis or something.
And he's a little bit taller too. He's a taller guy.
Is he?
He's a slender Reed
in person.
Yeah, I tell you what,
he's
putting the
like
fucking donuts to him.
6'1", I think, 6'1", 6'2". So.
Yeah. If you're going by Montante's height, he's 6'6".
Yeah, 5'10", my ass, Montante.
Montante's probably. I think I got a little bit on Montante, so because I think I'm 5'10", but I don't know, maybe I'm 5'9.5". But so Sheldon's one is gonna look like a great time.
I saw an NSYNC or Backstreet Boys music gig. I believe you posted that.
Oh, absolutely! Like that was the most, like, Sheldon obviously at one point had his shirt ripped off. By the the bartenders of Vicky's, and his lovely wife Mel comes up. She's like, "We're not doing that tonight, Sheldon," and like buttons his shirt back up. And then shortly after that, that's when Backstreet Boys came out in NSYNC.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
And then the next day, we spent the next day on the farm, like we should have, and we watched football on the farm, and we did some farming there with Sheldon. So.
Wow, he put you to work. So you drove, no open bar, and put you to work for
2,400 miles to eat a taco and get to work.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I have the opposite problem than Montante. Montante's drinking fucking purple Powerade to bind himself up. And the thought of travel makes me fucking constipated. We get into North Dakota, like outside of Fargo, and Tony's driving, and I got to fucking take a shit bad. And there's not a fucking tree in sight. I'm telling you guys, there's no trees. It's just mowed down cornfields. And
shit in a cornfield. It's fertilizer.
Buddy, I don't know. I have a hard time. I get stage fright like that. So
shitting outside is tough,
That's a tough.
If you're not in the woods, it's really fucking tough. If you're in a fucking mowed down cornfield, and it's windy as fuck there. And the last thing I wanted was a turd to blow out of my ass.
A little splashback. That would be bad.
Yeah.
GB said they need or what did GB say about piss jugs? Montante uses the Powerade balls for piss jugs
not a bad idea. I mean,
it's not bad. It's a bit. I think the Powerade has a little bit of a bigger. Montante needs to keep a surplus of purple Powerade balls for piss jugs.
Oh, one other point too. I wanted to solidify what Montante is saying. When you drink too much of that purple shit, you end up with green shits. But on the flip side, if you drink the green Shamrock shakes, you end up with purple shits.
It's like a color. It's the color spectrum, It's the purple and green. They reverse. I think that's.
Are they complementary colors? I'm not aware.
You heard it here first.
I don't know. I don't know. Bo, maybe you could enlighten us.
I'll later on the network. I'll do my art reviews.
We should.
What are your favorite colors?
Blind Owl's favorite colors. We should do that.
I'm a big fan of black and black. And white and gray.
I like shiny things. Is
that or sheens? I guess you would do sheens like eggshell, matte.
Sure.
So that's about it for me. I think vendors could come on soon, but I just want to say, did the Mean Girls episode 2 drop yet?
I haven't seen it.
It's Jordan Woodruff's relationship status, because spoiler alert.
It's me. I apologize.
It's complicated. It's complicated. I like that Kirk when he was at Barstool for the week, he used that joke like 15 times. To everyone that went on the show, he was like, "Oh, did you hear about? I can't wait to see Jordan Woodruff's relationship status." But do you know what I think? It's complicated.
I'll tell you, there's nothing better than when you got a good joke and you give it that same day. You hear it once, and then you give it that same day 4 or 5 times. You're like, "Oh yeah, I came up with that one."
Yeah, that I'm a big repeat. I feel like the jokes the more you say it and the funnier you get, that's a great joke. And that was one of those ones where the more he would say it, I would laugh more and more each time. Bring back the prank call 50 state challenge. See, I think a challenge like that has to come organically.
Oh, that's a fun idea. I like that.
Great idea.
But I think there's buzz, there's passion, I think with this producer search, there was a lot of buzz, passion, all this stuff, and I think there needs to be a bit more of let's get that and let's elevate it a bit. Where
remember that with the prank calls though, when that was happening, there was a lot of there was a lot of like one-liners and things to reference when people like obviously and
Sure.
like
100% turning
100%. There was a lot of things that people could reference when they're making the calls. So that needs to be fucking built back up in order to be able to like, because that's what made all that shit.
You
funny.
could do it. I mean, you'd have
You
to go
could
back.
do
I
it.
think it would be a good test for Coleman to see if he could make a prank call.
Yeah, that'd be good. See Coleman, Coleman's prank calls. But yeah, bring something like that back. I think ready for a challenge. But do you someone throw a wall? Wow, that's rude, John.
Someone throw a wallet at me. Wow, I'll take the cash inside.
Does D boys have anything before Menners comes on and we get into the network drama, Menners versus the world, the KMS world? Do you have anything that you wanted to add before you guys go?
Oh, I'll give Coleman a couple quick tips. Like if he come on, Coleman, you got to catch this fucking mouse, kid. And if you got to, peanut butter's just not for putting on your dick and having the dog lap it off. Put peanut butter on your trap. That's how you're gonna catch that mouse, buddy. So use peanut butter.
There you go.
Peanut butter on the mousetrap from Gig, the host and founder of Better Than Used to be, one of the best produced shows on the Kirkman Hand Network. And Blind Owl, any final thoughts from you?
No, just go to blindowlblogs.com. Our weekly picks are up every evening.
How are you doing this year?
I'm actually, this week, spoiler alert, I just took over first place. I had a 4-game win, or a 5-game win this week. So
maybe I'll follow your picks. All right, boys. Matt, thank you so much. Axe, you could axe these two. Menners. Oh, what's going on?
Me and Joe both trying to do it.
Menners,
hello. Hello, everybody. Look, I wasn't going to do a show tonight, so this is not a Menners Live. I was going to take the week off Menners Live, but there was so much talk about the network. Felt that I had to jump on and chat with host of the flagship program, BA. A lot of chat about the network this week, and I think my points have been misconstrued as always. But I do have some things that are driving me up the wall a little bit with the show. Where do you want to start, VA?
It's like, so what I want to say, do you think this week you've actually got a lot more promotion for the network than there has been in the past just by trashing you and it really is promoting the network? What do you think about that?
Yes. Well, okay. It's a good point. So, firstly, I think there's something to that, but what kind of annoys me is there's no balance with the way the main show talks about the network. I think it's 99% negative and maybe there's one little bit of positivity in there. And the fact is, it's the Kirk Minahan network. So, Kirk and the main show needs to support the network. And it can't all be negative. The only thing Kirk says is that show sucks. That Minifan sucks. Dave is the worst. That was a terrible lineup. That's boring. McFuss Daddy sucks. So why would any of the listeners to the main show ever go and try the network if the host, Kirk, is only ever saying very negative stuff? So that's the first thing. So there's no balance. No, go on.
But so to his, I'll play the other side. Do you think he's saying like he has to be true and honest that he's like that's what he feels about these shows? Because he does say good things about Mike of the Minifans. He says that's a solid show. He likes Quantum Kirk. He says,
but he just says the whole network sucks, and he just goes, "Oh yeah," as if I should tell people to go and watch Robbie V. Well, I'm not talking about Robbie V. Like, obviously, putting him on the network's a bit like a charity case. He's stuck in some institution somewhere. He sends in a video, and we put it up. Like, I've been told not to gatekeep. I tried to axe the 420 guys. I was told I can't do that. But obviously the 420 guys are talentless losers. And they were before they came on the network, and they are when they are on the network. And
but now you're kind of saying this.
No, shut up. And then there's Visionless Dave and his show, which is about NFL. And I don't know the quality of that because I'm not an NFL fan, but it's not a fan show. It's VD, Dave, and another guy. And I put it up there, but it's not really. I don't expect those shows to be talked about on the main show. Like, there's nothing to talk about. So I get that. But when you look at the other shows, I think Quantum Kirk it's a good show. They talk about an old episode, an old episode every week. Minifans love that navel gazing, circle jerk stuff. So there's no reason they can't talk a bit about that. I think Mount Rushkirk is getting better, and I think some of the topics they bring up are interesting. I don't think you'd spend, an hour on the main show talking about Beanbag Ron.
I think Mount Rushkirk, they need to have more people on that show.
Okay,
because...
so shut up. So the next episode is with John from Scranton. I've watched it already. It's out this Tuesday. It is the best show they've done so far. They've only done 3 shows. The main show in Kirk needs to encourage these people. They're not professionals. They're doing it as a hobby, and they should be encouraged. Like, if you're a fan of KMS, I guarantee you will enjoy some of the topics on Quantum Kirk and Mount Rushmore, because it's interesting. People love all that, stuff about old shows and, bringing up old topics. We do it all the time on this show.
Yeah. But Dan Hammer gives a good point. The best form of promotion is ripping on the show. So don't you think by Kirk saying,
no,
like endearment?
When does Kirk say go and check out some of the shows on the network? He just goes, why should I say it? Robbie V sucks. Okay, I know he sucks. I've said that. Like, he could actually say, the fan shows are good. Mike and the Minifans is good. For some reason, he was saying Men is Live shouldn't take calls. Men is Live is a fucking call-in show, you moron. That's the whole premise of the show. It's not supposed to be me and John shooting the shit. I'd rather fucking kill myself than do a show with John every week. It's about taking in the calls. So
I agree with you there. Like, Men is Live is a call-in show. Like, so you can't blame yourself if the calls suck.
Yes, but so I just think it's not balanced enough. There's not enough support for the people putting the time in. There's not enough. It's only ever, it sucks. This sucks. He sucks. Oh, that's, and it just puts people off. And if he's going to be so, dismissive of the network, how will it ever grow? And as I said, there can just be some middle ground. There can be like, support some of the shows. The producers can at least, you can't tell me, like, while they're setting up the calls or while they're, switching, but coming out of an ad break, Coleman or Gus can't go. Don't forget, on the network tonight is Quantum Kirk. They're going through the Gina episode. Or last night, check out Quantum Kirk. It was fun. They went through the Gina episode or something like that. Like, that is not hard to do. And if you're a fan of the show, it is about the show.
What do you think about my idea where Josh, Gus, and Coleman should do like a weekly spot where they like have their meeting where Minifans could pitch ideas and all this stuff, like a producer intern kind of meeting, so to speak. Do you think that's something that could be another kind of flagship show of the network that would be something worth clipping, talking about, and that kind of stuff?
Like a producer show, did you say?
Yeah, like essentially producers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Josh should like host it and give Josh something to do.
So I've written some notes from tonight's Mike and the Minifans to send to the producers to do their job for them, and one of them was produce a show on the network ? I mean, that's something they could bring up on the main show. That's content out of Mike and the Minifans. So there's that. I also think like Kirk is like he can just back off from calling like the axe a cunt, and he can back off from calling all the people on the network dirtbags. Like, there can be some balance. Like, it's boring now. Like, okay, we've heard it all before. This is your network.
I think it's funny though. I do think it's funny.
Yeah, but it's funny for a while, but the axe is spending time producing shows on his network. Like, wait until she does something cunty, then call her out for it. So at the moment, it's just made up. It's just WWE stuff. So there's that. Then I think people are misconstruing when I'm saying they could talk about the network on the main show. What I mean is, and it's been proven on tonight's Mike and the Minifans, that, Coleman has a lot of topics. So you telling me he couldn't, from those topics, add some talking points from the network. So when Quantum Kirk looks back at old episodes, there are some interesting things that come up. Like, they were going through the Gina episode, and it's really funny if you look at the way Kirk was with Barstool then to the way he is now. Like, you could just bring some of those topic ups. You bring up great talking points on Mike and the Minifans. You could you could grab a couple of those and inject them into the main show. Like they're just conversation starters. Wait. And they're no worse than all the fucking dumb articles that those two morons in the producer booth skim. Oh, the Variety top 50 guitarists. Oh, some haunted house. I mean, that's fine. Throw shit at a wall and see what lands. But you could also look at your own fucking network for some shit.
I totally agree, because you could tell, like, so a Mike and the Minifans will happen Friday, and then the Sunday episode, a lot of the talking points from the Friday Mike and the Minifans are naturally embedded with, like, Kirk will actually initiate a lot of it, where a lot of the stuff gets talked about, but it doesn't come from the producers, where I think, like, it's not like they're going to talk about Mike and the Minifans the whole time, but I think, like you said, like, oh, should the producers with Josh do something that gives Josh something to do? There's always one or two things, and then Kirk could say, I don't give a fuck about this, move on, and who cares, you know? But you are right,
a couple of good clips, you could clip some stuff up. I mean, might not, it wouldn't be every show, but there are some stuff. Well, Gig helping Coleman out with the mouse situation. That's a big help. I mean, Coleman's not getting any sleep. He's turning up late to the studio. He's affecting his performance, and Gig's giving him a solution. Like, I just, anyway.
I agree. I think but I think it's, so is your problem more with the producers or with Kirk or with all of them?
So my problem is I sat on my hands for too long when Cullinane was the producer, right? These guys have come in. I'm not going to sit on my hands anymore. I'm going to fight for my people. I love my crew. I love Beanbag Ron. You know, Dave and Danny drive me nuts, but I love those big fat lugs. You know, John from Scranton, he puts in a ton of work for the network. And John, hopefully we can take calls soon. Even though Kirk doesn't want us to take calls.
So we're kind of doing what I said. We're kind of wild.
He said we can't take calls on a call-in show.
Yeah, idiot.
Okay, go ahead.
So you know, I love my guys. I'm going to fight for my team now. You know, these new producers that come in, I'm not going to let them coast. I have no beef with Gus or Coleman. I'm just going to fight for the network. I'm going to fight for my guys, because at the moment, there's no point continuing if it's the main show is just 100% negative all the time. There's never anything good said. It's, you know, it's shitting on everybody that comes on. Basically, also, it scares people off. It scares people off the network. Like Allison came on once, Allie. She doesn't want to come back because she got ripped on the main show. But I'm just saying, like, there's got to be some balance. And also, you know, I want the network to survive. So let's encourage the fan shows, especially. Okay, you don't have to encourage Robbie V. Like, you don't have to encourage Robbie V or VD or even the 420 guys. And people say I'm mean to the 420 guys. They don't take it seriously because they get on, they just rip bongs, and they sit there staring into the camera.
Don't take it seriously.
They got Blind Mike on. I'm glad John's here to butt in. They got Blind Mike on and had like 2 questions to ask him. So, you know, whatever. I'm happy to put them all on the network.
Should we unionize?
Yeah,
I want Kirk to encourage. The fan shows are good. Like, I guarantee Mount Rushmore.
Well, so can I say something? And I think the Mount Kirkmore has to be 4 people minimum, because you can't do a draft with 2 people. Like,
even 3, it was easy. Like, it was too easy. My list is unbelievable. That's what I'm saying.
You need to do 4 like, that could be a show for the network where it's like it gets other people. And like, I think we got to help out these other fan shows and make them better. Where it's like, we should give them tips like, hey Fuss, Beanbag Ron, you need to have 2. There should be 5 people on that.
Okay, great stuff, Coach BA. But it's happening. I know what's going on. I've been through this many times. The more you do it, the better you get. You cannot accelerate growth. And shut up, John. And like in the latest show, John's on Mount Rushkirk. You know, Beanbag Rog's gone out and bought a great mic, so he sounds good now. He's sober, so hey, that's 2 wins. You know, they had John on, and I'm sure it's just going to keep getting better. So I just think there's no balance. The producers should be skimming all the fan shows for talking points. And it's a team effort, and it's so far the main show's letting the team down, and there's no fun in it. Like, they're not actually having fun with the network. That's what, you know, you say this promotion will be having fun with the network, making fun of, you know, playing stupid drops of people, saying dumb shit if you want to make fun of it. Like, at the moment, it's just Kirk saying it sucks, don't watch it. And it's dispiriting, and
He did-
he
he
should
did
do
say-
better. He should
did
do
say-
better.
He did say BA is great on Mike and the Minifans.
Yeah, he
so,
loves you.
Whatever.
Kirk, he's a good guy. I think our time in studio, just watching Gus together, we really had a bond.
It's firsthand. Gus is it's.
Do you
it's
see what, John? Do you see what I said? Watching Gus through the booth is like the most wild thing.
just
in
when
the
he
world.
gets asked like what's next, and he's like, "Well, I'm cutting clips. I'm fucking." He just jumps to the fucking.
Yeah, and John, you said fuck all on the show today about the network. I mean, you tried to promote it, and you're like, "Oh, the show should be better." I mean, Jesus Christ,
They should.
I mean,
That's like what
okay,
BA is saying.
that's not the
How
problem.
can I say my piece?
That's not the problem.
I say my piece.
Quantum Kirk is good. The shame. It's a shame that they can't seem to get clips into the show. Like how it's so easy to do on StreamYard, but
so do you think?
I mean, David's got the biggest ego on the network. Like I'm telling you, he's a handful.
Well,
It
the
is out of
Quantum
control.
Kirk guys, I think, are a bit diva. Like, do you see how Danny and Fabrilrica, like, I make a funny joke where does Justin Trudell own the Quantum Kirk IP, and Danny just goes off on a whole thing like we addressed this. And he thought it was you, I guess, but it was me that posted that. I sent it to Menners, and he's like, "You got to post this." But yeah, I think Quantum Kirk has got to. They're two divas. Like I think it started with them where they should have embraced more people doing it, and then they gatekeeped it. So it could.
Yeah,
start
absolutely. Anyway, I don't. As I said, it's a team effort, and so one thing I considered this week. And this is because of Kirk, because whenever Kirk brings up the network, he brings up that fucking retard Robbie V. And he's
but I think it's great. I think
no, but I'm just saying,
good.
I'm thinking of axing those shows now because it's bad for the brand. So I think Robbie V, the 420 show, and maybe the Big Dog show, maybe they should all go, and we just only limit it to fan shows.
No, you can't axe. You can't do the axe because then you're
well, I don't want to. But it's Kirk. It's Kirk's fault. I don't want to. I don't want this is Kirk's fault.
You have to be bigger. You have to be a bigger man.
Kirk doing it. No, it's Kirk doing it. No, it's actually Kirk doing it.
I don't know.
Kirk dropping out. Not me.
No,
it is because all he does is when the show. He goes, "Well, why should I promote Robbie V?" Well, I'm not asking.
He promotes Robbie V the most. He almost promotes him the most.
60 people watch Robbie V. Of course, 60 people watch Robbie V because this is terrible. It is unlistenable. But I've been told not to gatekeep, and there's no way Robbie V should have a show anywhere. He should just put out his fucking tips. And I mean, the Big Dog show is probably good, but I'm just saying, like, Kirk's got to just leave them alone and focus on the wrap-up shows that are about KMS. They're the good shows.
But don't you
think
this is where I agree with you a little bit, where I said this 80% of revenue comes from 20% of the customer base. That's Walmart. I think the Walmart's or something like that. So it's like the net, because he was talking about it. He was like, oh, what does the network get? 10, 20, like 1,000 views on Mike and the Minifans versus 10,000 views. That's 10% of the live the audience, so to speak. So it's like those are probably the fans.
It's that with never having a positive word said about it.
Well, I think if you know Kirk, like when he's making fun of you, that's endearment. Like I think that's nice.
But he's not making fun. He's not making jokes about it. There's no humor involved with it. He's just, saying how bad it is all the time. As I said, it needs to be some balance.
Maybe that's his motive. Maybe we take it as constructive criticism. We were like, we try to get
But
better.
I think it scares people off to come on the network because, as I said, there's no balance. People come on Mike and the Minifans. People, like acronym guys say, I think it's time for me to just disappear for a little while.
Well, acronym guy.
Like Kirk could just have some fun with these guys. I don't get the show. This fucking idiot. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop reading the comments. So I just want the network to do well. I want it to grow, and
I think it has. So I think,
and I think to be a bit more interaction with the main show than me waving my hands, because that's you guys like, and you BA in particular, you do come up with great talking points on Mike and the Minifans. Like you do the rundown. You've got your own unique angle of things, and that's why I'm not doing Mike and the Minifans, because I want it to have your your
Thank you.
perspective. You know,
I agree with you with that. Where there is a couple things, especially out of Mike and the Minifans, that could be perfect for the Sunday show, like the perfect for Sunday show. Hey, they said this on Mike and the.
But what about but even people helping people grow the audience? So if there are new listeners to the show, Quantum Kirk is a great show to introduce old episodes to the people that have just started listening to KMS. So you know the Gina episode.
Does Quantum Kirk? Because I'm not the biggest listener. Does Quantum Kirk, like when I went on Quantum Kirk, I just upload the clips and played them. Like the clips come in
how
post.
We do it normally. We normally, like if I'm producing, the clips play live.
Yeah. So what happened was when they started their show, I said to them, the best way is if you two learn how to use StreamYard, because then you can just screen record the clips, you upload them to StreamYard, and you play them live. And you don't need to worry about John's schedule or any of the other ones. But, you know, Danny said, I can't learn StreamYard. It's too hard. And Dave is like, oh, that's not my department. I'm the talent. I'm just so fucking talented. I don't need to learn. So then they get on all the producers like Mick, Coleman, Gus, John, and none of them put any clips in. None of them do it because they just couldn't be bothered.
I want it on the record. They didn't do a producer episode with me.
Right. Okay. Well, you produce the show.
Yeah.
You know.
Do we have calls or no?
Do we want to take calls?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just going to do it on this. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just staying here to keep our fucking boss Kirk happy. Where's he gone? Nice. Anyway, so with the Quantum Kirk as well, like what I decided was, and Kirk said, why does he do this? I find if you release too much too quickly, it's too much for the Minifans to consume. Like there's, you know, the main show's doing 4 or 5 shows a week. So, you know, Quantum Kirk did 3 episodes in a week. If I release them all in a week, then they won't get listened to. Like I released, you know, a Montante one straight after another one during the producer search, and hardly anyone watched it. So what I'm trying to do is, you know, build up these regular nights. So every Monday night is a new Quantum Kirk. And that way, like Danny had a couple of really busy weeks at work, but because they had some shows in the can, then they could actually I could just release them over 2 weeks and the show didn't take a break. And I did that because the show wasn't getting enough views. You know, Dave was like, oh, Adolf Manners, when's he going to release this? And, you know, I'm doing this for their show. And it's, you know, humans love routine. They love routine. And
I agree.
So,
I think I think a lineup makes more sense. I agree with you there. That's why you're in a leadership role. These kind of ideas.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore has Tuesday night, so they submitted the show late. It just missed the deadline for this Tuesday night airing, so they take a week off, and the next one's next Tuesday night. And it's good because if they record, you know, one, they've got an extra one. It's the week after, and I think it gives enough time for people to digest it because the main show is doing a lot. And you know, as good as the network is, I would always encourage people, you know, to listen to the main show and then come to the network afterwards.
That's fair. Mayo said that you told him privately that you don't get the show.
Mayo's a loser. Just fucking hope the cancer. Hope those moles get cancerous as soon as possible.
A beef between Minifan shows would drive views. RBV versus that. Well, people forget. Mincel Intel back in the day. Remember, John? I was like, we need to fight with all the shows on the network, and we would fight with Quantum Week and Menners.
Our first fight was Menners,
and with Quantum Week. And look at Quantum Week. Look at this. Mincel Intel on the network propelled Chris Clemmer and Quantum Weeks to such success by fighting with each other. But yeah, we don't have any people fighting. I think what you need Beanbag Ron, I think, needs to come in, start calling people out, you know.
But we just want I want the network to grow, and I think I don't want Kirk to continually scare people off. Now we're going to take calls soon, so if you're watching live, please call in. Would love to hear from you.
Thank you for calling, Colin.
Thanks, professional over there.
How about I had another. What was my idea?
So I think the producer should be.
Oh, producer show,
yeah, and just sadly, Yeah, so that's been my frustration this week. I've got to fight for the network. You know, I want it to do well. I want people to come on and have a
But
good
how do you
time.
like but you're getting a lot of like Kirk is singing your praises a little bit by he's saying oh, you know, he's passionate, he cares, like he knows you care and you're passionate. So he is and Coleman too is like he's in. But I think they're not actually listening to, like, if they're in on you, then they should. Why can't they take one or two Menner's ideas and for one episode of? They have 5 episodes a week now, 4. So
yeah, I should produce a show.
What's a couple clips? Like what's a couple clips in 30 hour or whatever the
absolutely.
I mean,
but, you know, John, you know, what did John do? You know, John went in today, but he didn't send any clips to play from any of his shows. So you know, it starts with our own team. We've got to do better. But I'm hoping to have a meeting with Coleman next week and, you know, come up with some ideas and some systems. And I also get annoyed when Kirk says, "Oh, they don't do anything." The Axe and Menners don't do anything. Like considering this is a hobby, we spend a lot of time doing it. Like, you know, it's hours a week organizing shit. I mean, you know, just organizing the shows and uploading them and putting in all the stuff, you know, converting the videos to audio for the podcast feed, all that stuff. I mean, when you're doing it for, you know, 8 shows a week, it adds up. And then, you know, getting these fucking idiots to do stuff and communicating with Danny and Dave, and then we get blamed for no clips on their show because, you know, those fat losers can't learn StreamYard.
Let's take a call here. 781.
I think Danny and Dave are poisoning the network.
Go ahead, 7.
Well, just because they go into the studio and they get a bit of love and they, you know, they think they're the next. Hello? Can you turn it up, John?
Hello, Manners. What's the crack, lad?
What's he saying?
What's the crack at?
What's the crack?
Oh, what's the crack? Well, that's Irish. I'm going well, thank you. How's your crack?
All right, Manners. Manners, I love you. I think you should be number 4 on the list, on the top 50 list.
I agree.
Listen, these new producers, though, I know you've been a great, big fan of the producers in the past. These guys, you got to start getting on these guys. You got to have equal treatment of these guys as you did Dave Cullinane and especially Steve, my man Steve Robinson.
I think I have been.
This young kid, the 23-year-old kid, he's lame. He's not a Kirk Minahan. He's not even a Minifan.
Give him a chance.
No, I say give him a chance. He's not perfect. Look, I've been tweeting out some clips all week to point out some of his poor instincts, and I'm saying he can get better. He can get better.
But do you give him credit for his drop? Do you give him credit for his drop success so far?
Yes,
I think his drops have been getting better. I think he's improving the drop.
So,
I think that's what I give him credit for.
When I'm hiring people, for me, it's like 90% attitude, right? And Coleman's got a great attitude. So I reckon he's going to develop. You know, Gus, I don't know about Gus yet. I think some of the points you brought up on the main show, on Mike and the Minifans earlier, make sense.
You mean the main show?
But I'm not. I never hated Cullinane the way I hated Steve, and I don't want to hate Coleman and Gus because I want them to be promoting the network. I got to, you know, we're on the same team. Unfortunately,
I want you to hate.
You know, this is the thing I signed up for. So, you know, I've got to fight for guys like Beanbag Ron and, you know, Coleman and Gus have got to get on board. But yeah, I'm going to keep them accountable. I mean, I said to Coleman, I want to meet next week about the network. He said yes. Gus was fucking in the DMs, just clarifying whether, you know, Allison and Montante were asked to come on Mike and the Minifans last night. I mean, you know, Gus could actually offer to help. Like, there's, you know, great ideas for the network, like a trivia show. There's all these things that take quite a bit of time and effort.
Would you bring back drinking buddies? Would you bring back drinking
why
buddies?
Doesn't Gus take some initiative and go, I'm going to do this show once a week on the network? I mean, you know, it's the old Chris Clemmer syndrome of not, you know, doing anything. Remember, Clemmer never did anything on the network once he started going in once a week. So Yeah, and the actress is doing a great job. I feel sorry for her. She can take it. I mean, she suffers every day with Dante. So when Kirk is mean to her,
why does it look like I have lipstick on?
No, because you got the gig.
When did John from Scranton sleep last of the 20? I don't think. Have you slept? Probably not. When did you sleep? Did you sleep?
Like going into driving yesterday, I did.
Oh, you weren't driving, so you're sleeping in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fair. No calls. Oh, I was gonna tweet it out.
I think we still have. We got a call 908.
908. You're on with Manners. Welcome to Manners Live.
Yes, Manners, you're gonna get absolutely lambasted Sunday night. I respect.
Oh no, that's never happened before. I'm so scared. What's Kirk gonna do? Is he gonna say some swear words?
You fat little fuck! Shut up. I'm trying to give you praise. I respect where you're coming from, but you have to understand you're gonna get absolutely murdered.
That's better than them not talking about it at all.
I'm here for my team.
So, Manners.
Yes.
How bad your instinct to throw
this is Montante.
Is where you are.
Didn't know this was Montante.
This is Montante.
Come on.
So sorry, Mike, go on.
Manners, why is it instinct? Where'd you come up with this instinct? I understand you should be looking for more shows to fill dead air. Why threaten to throw Robbie V off?
Yeah, that's not a good move.
No,
he's being a pussy.
I don't want to throw anyone off, but Kirk's got to just understand, obviously, that some shows are charity case, and he can't come on Sunday night and go, "Oh, how am I supposed to work out which of the non-charity case shows?" It's pretty obvious. Like there's some fan shows where we talk about your show. There's 3 or 4 of them a week. And then, I let the other shows go on there because, there are sports fans, there are gambling fans, and I've been told not to gatekeep. So I don't want to do it. This is Kirk's fault. Kirk's actually the one wielding the axe.
How are you the biggest Kirk Minifan fan on earth and not comprehend yet that he'll never be complimentary to the network? The only press you're going to get is going to be 90% bad.
Well, that's good. That's good.
He's nice enough to Coleman. Like Coleman and Gus have started their job. He's being nice to them. He's giving them a break. Why can't he give the network a break? I mean, it's his network. So when Coleman suggests some absolutely fucking god awful story, Kirk doesn't rip the shit out of him yet. So why can't he just?
Coleman's learning. He's learning. He's more comfortable.
You don't think Beanbog Round's learning and McFuss-Daddy? I mean, the guys are morons. Give him a break.
John, mute him, please. What are the similarities between Coleman and Beanbag Grog? The Beanbag Ron. There's no similarity. One works for him. The other's a fucking charity team.
Why would he work for Menners? They're part of Menners' team. These are Menners guys.
It's the Kirk.
Menners is fighting for his guys.
Come on, Manners.
No, come on, Mike.
More talent or lack of talent on the network.
Why don't you do something on the network? Why don't you start doing Montante's World once a week?
You should have some part of something.
Come on.
I have 2 side endeavors. Going on, and I don't want to work for a fucking communist.
No, well,
they're not.
Now we know.
We need to contract them in. Like, do we need to? Now, does the network have to be like buying shows to fill time? Montante's World.
Well, what about Beyond Average? Beyond Average is doing twice a week now. So maybe we could get one of theirs on once a week.
Yeah, they should be doing it though. Like, that's if they were the producer. Like, or maybe we bring Meeting of the Minds on there.
Kirk's just gonna say, "Oh, Christian's retarded."
You see, listens.
Mick sucks.
At least he listens to the BAP. You got a call here, 617. You're up.
Hello.
Why don't they should post the video though on the network and keep their own podcast feed? Who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly. And Montante should do the same.
Yeah, just post the video on the network.
He's too drunk though to fucking.
I don't know if he knows how to record that.
He probably doesn't. The sound to be awful, like what Kirk did.
I know you saw it. Confirm or deny? I don't know what he's talking about.
Hello, caller. Sorry.
What's up, Divya Mushrooms? How we doing tonight?
G'day, Dan. Great to hear from you. Great to hear all the way in Sydney.
I'm just still having a hard time believing that Coleman doesn't take the pony out for a gallop.
I don't either.
Fucking strange to me.
I don't.
Dan, I've got it.
20.
Yeah, Dan, I've got a theory for you. I think. Dan, shut up. In 10 years, I think Coleman will be settled down with another man. That's my theory. What do you think?
That's not a bad theory there. That's not a bad theory.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Being 23.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
I was walking around with a Woodrow Wilson in my pants when I was 23 years old at all times.
A springy young lad.
But yeah, all right, boys, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Dan.
You got another 617
All right.
there. Thanks, Dan.
Have a good night.
Yeah, Coleman could bat for the
All
other
right,
team.
so
There's nothing wrong with that.
is there any? Is Coleman or Gus going to do a producer show on the network, Matters?
Well, that's what we're going to suggest. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll have to sort of send them an email with the breakdown from this show.
I said host. Josh should
watching or
host it.
skimming it.
Josh should host it. Josh should
well,
host it.
I don't care. Just do it once. Yeah.
Are they even doing enough? Like, I mean, you keep saying Coleman doesn't bring enough clips. He's bringing nothing. Those stories that he's bringing are like viral things you've seen on your TikTok feed.
It's not Coleman's
exactly.
job. This is Gus's job.
Oh,
I agree.
Blame it on Gus.
Yeah, this is Gus. The B-roll should be dealing with the network. That's what I think. Like, Coleman has to worry about the show and the show only. If there's clips played on the show, which I don't even think there's.
No, see, that's where you're, John. See, that's where you're wrong. Again, fucking stick your big nose in with something wrong. He's the producer of the fucking show. He should have his hand in everything. Even if you delegate Gus to be in charge of the network, you still manage that. You still oversee that.
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
So that is good management.
Coleman's hand is far up Gus's ass, dude. Don't worry. He has a strong grip on that.
Maybe he wants to put something else up his ass.
Maybe, apparently, in 10 years.
Do you think? Imagine in 10 years, Gus leaves his wife for Coleman after Coleman eats out his ass for the second time.
Yes,
that could happen.
I'm serious. There's just something fishy with Coleman's sexuality, which however it turns out, I'm happy for him. Anyway, caller, sorry, he's still there.
He's gone. I didn't get to say my bit on this. Am I not allowed to though?
Yeah, it's all right.
That's fine. I can. So I don't think you should be begging Kirk for like. I think the only job they have to do is when at the end of the show, when they say anything to promote, every single show that's coming up should.
I would be happy with that rather than
and if
the whole thing sucks.
Worth it, they play them. That's it.
But that's what I'm saying.
All right,
that's what I'm saying. Not the network sucks. They all suck.
But you're asking Kirk.
Fucking acronym guy sucks. Danny sucks. Davis sucks. Oh, Joe's a cunt. Oh, why would you watch that? You know, it's 1%.
And then he says, but he does
like
say
he should say. Kirk should actually say.
Say BA does a great job, so you got to give him credit.
You're promoting with bad medicine. Bad medicine comes back on you, man. That's what's happening. Kirk is doing that because he's replying to you.
Kirk should say. That's not wrong. That's wrong. That's not
wrong.
Kirk should be saying things like, and the producers as well, maybe the producers more should be saying like, plug in Mike and the Minifans, fans of the show, you should check it out. And plugging the other network shows. And I agree with you, John. It doesn't have to be. I don't expect every show for them to review Quantum Kirk, but it can be balanced. They should, as you said, John, coming like when they're teeing up the calls or something, as you're waiting, you just, drop in as, Kirk's fidgeting with his next ad read. You just go, don't forget Quantum Kirk's on tonight. Mike and the Minifans on tonight. And
just say it. That's all. You don't even have to talk about it.
Yeah.
If it's bad, talk about it.
Instead of, going to some B-grade website and writing down a talking point, the producers could look at some of the talking points BA raises and think, there's a couple there I think might, interest Kirk. Why don't we bring that up?
Like if they get 6 topics in, the network should have been one of those 6 topics.
Well,
and it's just
Coleman has an average of 16 topics.
I know he's pumping topics.
Which is great, and good on him. But don't tell me there's not room then to bring in. And I will say, like, some of my frustration is carried over from the Cullinane era. But I decided when a new era started, I'm not going to sit on my hands. You've got to start on the right way. And if I just let them get away with this shit on the main show, it's never going to change. This network will die. And then there'll be nothing. There'll be, maybe Mike and the Minifans once a week. There'll be nothing else. You'll get Robbie V, maybe if we're lucky.
Enough Robbie V. fucking slander. That's enough.
But that's my point. That's my point. You're right, John. You're right. I shouldn't be doing it, but that's my point with Kirk.
I think the slander is
whenever like Gus reads a tweet out, he goes, "Or should I be promoting Robbie V?" No, Kirk should go. Mendez is right. Mike and the Minifans is a great fan show. Like, try and watch it.
There's value in being the show that Kirk.
They also
that's a bad example though.
They also haven't really tweeted out the network from their Twitter since
exactly they could retweet that stuff,
which is Cullinane would to tweet out at least the Mike and the Minifans. Yeah. Tweet out that.
I'm afraid that get into that loop where Kirk's going to get them into that mindset where it's just like don't care about them. Don't care about them. Don't, and it just spins so fast.
And if that's the way the show goes, fine. But we'll just wind up the network. Right? There's no point. Like, what's the point of like yelling into yelling into the void? Yeah. Well, yeah, but you did you did meeting of the minds for 5 years to 2 people. So you're the worst example. Like, if there was 8 people watching this stream, you'd be thrilled.
That's a good show.
Exactly,
people, man. What are we?
Yeah,
the Vanderbilt.
But he gets credit. He was even saying, he's like, I can't believe Mike the Minifans sometimes has 100 people watching live. That's kind of crazy.
That is.
That's to say, that's the 20. Those are like those 100 people all bought fucking the majority of the pay-per-views. You know what I mean?
But then why would a casual fan why would someone who loves KMS, listens to every show, think about trying the network if there's never a positive word said
that person?
Like, but what I'm saying is, this
now
is
it's
not
cool
a Kirk.
to hate the network. Now it's cool to hate the network. Oh yeah, we hate the network. We hate
this isn't a Kirk
Axe is a
thing.
cunt. They all suck. Danny sucks. Davis sucks. I hate the acronym guy. Like, that's all we hear.
But that's my favorite part of the show when he does that.
Caller.
Mad Menace.
He's mad, boy.
Hello.
For you. Now, I'm a huge listener of the main show, and I listened for the past 6 months, and particularly the past week. Every time someone calls in to trash you, Menners, Kirk actually has your back.
That's fair.
So is there any appreciation for that?
I mean, Kirk's a great guy. He's a fantastic guy. I mean, Kirk and I are friends. I hate doing this, but I've got to go into bat for the network. I have to support the network. And yeah, I mean, our relationship's never been better. This is not a personal grudge. But I've got to stand up for my team, and it's Kirk's team. We're in the same team.
But see, I don't think Kirk's the issue. I think it's the producers that need to step up a bit more. Kirk's going to react how he reacts, and it's funny every time.
Can't let it just slip by. Kirk can't just. Yeah.
Kirk
also reinforces that notion to the producers a little bit.
Yeah.
Quite the delay here. Here's my advice to you. The network, in my opinion, hasn't been better since the pandemic. It's in a great spot. Kirk has your back every time someone calls for your firing. Just relax a little bit. Just relax.
Here's my counter argument to him, though. Menners is always this way, and it's what keeps, I think, a little bit of respect for the network. So we need him fired up like this. So, like, that's what I hate is when people are like, don't get fired up, Menners. It's like, Menners is here to get fired up.
It's true. Now, in regards to Jack Coleman.
There you go, Menners.
I think somewhere along the line, there's confusion that, like, the show is a let's list news stories and fire off as many news stories as we can at Kirk and let him react. What Kirk loves is calling grocery stores. Kirk loves the travel aspect. How come these 2 idiot producers haven't mapped out next year's tour where he's already picked the 12 or whatever destinations? Why haven't they started mapping that out? Instead, it's whatever GQ article he finds. Like, I don't know where it was never that with Steve.
I think he kind of has to get more into the sync of the show. And like, you're right. Like, talking about planning and organizing that trip is actually a good idea. But I think he has to just get more synced in. So right now, all their brains are telling them is just make sure you have something to fucking say when he says what's next, and that just lets your mind.
Kirk likes a couple of things. He loves conflict and he loves drama. And it's their job to bring those into the show. Like, Kirk was in on, this stupid fight Montante had with his fantasy league. Like, that is the perfect example of what Kirk likes. Like you can go through all the news sites, you can find all these wacky stories, but in the end, he loves those drama elements. And they talk about this Allison v. Montante. I'm sorry, but that's old news to the network. We went through this feud on the network, but the producers were asleep at the wheel. I mean, BA laid it out at the beginning of Mike and the Minifans. So.
Actually, we have a good comment from Warden. Oh, sorry, go ahead, caller.
Good. Yeah, let me just finish off here, so I'm not on the phone for 30 minutes. Menners, we love you. You are loved. Go have a steak, go beat off or something. Relax. Definitely. You're very much loved. Thanks, guys.
I wanted
great call. I mean, the Minifans are the best.
A top 50, a top 50, maybe top 25 solidified Minifan. KMS contributor, Warden of the North, said, if Menners isn't running this, there's no network. That's a proven fact.
Number one.
Warden's always been a great supporter, and he's one of the great Minifans.
That's a big opinion.
Produces great content.
I can say he has watched me in the past. I don't know if he likes me still. I think he still hates me.
It's not about you, John. It's about the network tonight.
No, you're right. That was very Andy Mayo of me.
All time. I mean, wait till you hear cringe performance from John on Mount Rushkirk on Tuesday night. You should all tune in. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Your ego was peak out of control.
Yeah, it probably was.
You've been you've been peak smug.
Down. I need to get knocked down.
Yeah.
941.
When you talk about the show with the we, I think you get in trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Hello.
Hello, Manners. What's up?
Hello. G'day. I'm good, thank you.
I'm gonna cut that.
Is everything all good in Australia today?
It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I've already been for a 5-kilometer walk in the sun. Australia won big match of cricket overnight. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, sounds great. Hey, is there any way Wags is gonna not be banned from the network, or what? Are you gonna still be gay?
You mean Chuck Wagon?
Wags, yeah, same thing.
He's banned from the network. He's banned. I saw him in the chat. I kicked him out and banned him before. Put a pretty strict policy.
Why is he banned?
No rapists allowed. It's pretty easy. No sexual assaulters.
Well,
allowed.
He didn't rape anybody.
Well, he's a fucking dirtbag. He's a dirtbag. He's a scumbag. And he got on and he tried to. He couldn't even apologize. Honestly, he's the sort of cretin.
Is it because you want to lick Lauren Lynn's pussy, or no?
Whoa.
Can we get rid of Wagon, please?
That's an episode you should go back and rewatch.
Piece of shit.
Tell you what,
honestly, I fucking wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire.
I don't think you'd reach.
How about? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was true. It's dumb. I
thought a caller. I thought it was a caller.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
I don't know what I was saying.
Oh, you don't know what you were saying?
I don't know. I forget. I forget if I don't say it right away.
Go back and watch that apology episode. It's a lot different on the second watch. It was very awkward at the moment.
Yeah, and I just want to shout out Joe again. Such a great
since she's
executive. I would say, she's the executive producer of this show. She's, she's
the lady in
she's just such a great support. Whenever I'm, angry or frustrated, I'll get in the DMs with her, and she'll calm me down. She'll tell me,
she's a great lead.
Just put it back in your pants. Just relax.
She's a great part of the
without her
team.
support, I couldn't do the BA and Joe organize the show every week. So it's a great team. There's only good things coming for the network.
I really think Mount Rushmore could be good. You need 4 people minimum.
That'll be the best show.
I think, having listened to the next one that's coming, I think 3 is the perfect number. And you know what's funny? Every show, Ron gets to the end of the show and they say, give us your 4 Mount Rushmores. Can't remember every time. He's 4 from 4. Like he doesn't write them down as he goes, and then he forgets, and then he has to do them again.
That's exactly why I made him repeat it. I was like, repeat what these are. Yeah. And he couldn't. And he didn't even know if he picked his 4th pick. And I'm like, ha ha ha. You're just
so what was it favorite episodes? Favorite?
The first one was Steve's Lies. You have a caller though, real quick. 269. Kirk would rather if we would just talk, caller, but we'll take your call.
Yeah, sorry to take calls on a call-in.
Kirk's wrong. I think
he never takes calls. He never takes bad calls.
No, I think, but I think doing Mike and the Minifans to the calls on one stream. See how much more calls there's been. I think this episode.
I think he is.
Last week there was nothing.
I think he is loving what you're doing, Menners. I'm probably completely wrong, but I think he loves it. Caller.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Menners, you're a stupid fucking cunt.
Thank you. I love it when you talk dirty.
Yeah, I love when I hear what Mike has for dinner last night. All of you guys fucked up the entire top 50 list.
I didn't do shit.
Fucking retard.
I made the intro.
BA fucked it up.
The intro was bomb.
People are saying I saved the show.
And BA saved the show. You're welcome. He's gone.
If I wasn't on that show, it would have been like 4-7 hours.
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
I hope he doesn't hate us. I love that caller. Don't hate the network.
I thought he was going to ask us what we had for dinner.
Anyway, I like that he did it. Respect.
So with the top 50, I just want to sort of back up on that. They went through that shitty list again. And Kirk made a good point. And, I said this before, so he would have probably heard this on the network. I said, I think that the top 50 list for this year is dead. And, 20, Steve from Gloucester is desperate to do another list. I mean, he's sent me a few lists already. What we're going to do is January 2024, new top 50 list for 2024 will be done right. Committee handpicked by me. I'll be on the committee because I need to actually make sure I get on the list next year for a start. But also I'll make it happen. And then we'll do a reveal show. And a bit more, John, you spoke about this. Like, I didn't want the show to be debating about the spots. I wanted it to be a bit more what you saying, like a tribute to each person who's on the list, why they're on the list, a couple of memorable moments. Now, I think it's going to be it was hard enough to get them to do a list, so having clips and everything stuff. But the odd clip maybe, or something. I think like
every 10 you get a clip.
Yeah, great, fantastic.
Big old in size.
Yeah, you could absolutely, but so that my vision was more a tribute to the Minifans, not a debate.
It's not the Minifans; it's the Kirk Minahan show things.
No. I'm doing the list. I'm doing my list. I'm doing it the network list, and it's going to be. It's not. It's going to be. It's going to be. I think they've gone too far one way of saying no Minifan should be on the list, but I do agree with Lauren shouldn't have been on the list. Like.
No, that was
things like that.
I love Lauren. Like she didn't.
If we're talking sexy hot chicks, she should be like number one for sure. But it was a different list.
But there's a lot on that list.
She's on a lot of lists. She's on a lot of lists, and she's high up the top. But that wasn't the list I'd have her on.
I think.
Would it be sexist to do like a show where? It would be.
No, dude, we did a show last. Like, trust me, you can do anything on these things. I don't know why.
We need to get a lady on the network. We have no ladies so far.
Exactly. Any more calls?
Oh, we have that. We have the Axe, but she kind of stays behind the scenes.
No, yeah.
The Axe, we'll let her go to bed. I mean, the Axe has she's in some Midwest. She's got like 8 kids. She probably locks in a room to do this show.
She doesn't need to be doing it though. There's people that
the only reason she does this is because Dante makes her, because he craves this Minifan attention.
Oh, you think Dante's pulling the strings?
He's the number one John from Scranton fan. He told me so.
Yeah. Anyway, great show, by the way, to end the week. Any calls, John?
No. Friday show's my favorite, though.
Yeah, you guys did good. Mayo was wild.
He was manic today, huh?
Yeah. Again, he's another one. He thinks now there's a few. There's so it's a Daver, John from Scranton, Andy Mayo. They go into the studio, they get a bit of love, and they now think they're like going to be.
I don't think but I want
it's ridiculous.
I want the opposite though. I'm saying it's too good.
Maybe you act one way, like
yeah, it's true. But I always act that way.
You talk about the show like and
I only said that once.
It was in watch Mount Rushkirk on Tuesday.
I nailed my list, dude.
He's just very smug. But you should be smug because for 4 years you've been absolutely you're like the network. You were hated for 4 years, and now you've come good. That's what I want the network to be. I want the network to do a John from Scranton.
I didn't do shit. I was nice the whole time to everyone.
Yeah, but you.
I was friends with Sneakers.
They hated you.
That was the worst thing I did. And you're best friends with Sneakers now, and he's a 25 seed.
Best friends.
He's your best friend.
We're good friends. Good friends.
Matters. You breaking down the Sneakers Jay, the Sneakers Jay lovers quarrel was one of the funniest things in the world.
Why is he grabbing his dick?
As wild as the story is, Jay's pouring a Powerade on the guy's seat after.
I got into my first fist fight because I did that, and the kid found out. He's like, "Fight me," and I was like, "Fuck." Like that's
I'm surprised like the producers didn't bring that up. Like,
but you could see Kirk didn't really
want to. He didn't want to talk about it.
But then,
I think you should actually say something. Like Kirk should actually say, "No, this is not okay."
Did you see it? Kind of took Sneaker's side too at the end.
Listen, I'm not going to be one of these boomer Minifans, but the producers right now, because I'm listening to it, need to go listen to the old KNC podcast just to listen to how they handled the show. Why?
I think.
Why?
Yeah, you got to see.
You did such a great job at it.
If a few talking points from today aren't discussed on Sunday, then or Monday, whenever the show is, there's a problem.
What was the producer podcast at that time?
KNC, I think.
KNC podcast. Go listen to the
and it's still there actually.
Someone said they should do. Someone in the chat said they should do ANC, Augustus, and Coleman.
like listen. Kirk always says those two did.
I agree.
Show stuff the best.
I think Josh should host it. I think it's a great.
I think Coleman needs to do this, which he has to is listen to all these episodes, but he should be listening to old Kirk too at the same time. And I don't know. It's tough to listen straight through. Okay. I'm gonna stab him.
Yeah, I wonder how much she's listening to now.
He is
because he probably listens to all the Barstool podcasts and stuff. What do you think of Mrs. Gig? I mean, this is quite the transition. He and Tony Cass are going to make.
I'm proud of Gig.
He and Tony Cass are going to make a fine couple.
It's just funny. Tony's the fat one now. Dude, it looks like everyone has lipstick on. I think Menners has a setting on.
I don't. I did.
Maybe he has a setting on. You put that setting.
Joe's producing.
That's
his new look. Look at him.
Say my name, BA. Freddie Lynn.
Anyway, well, look, I reckon we should wrap this up. It's getting late.
Need to go watch the end of our show yesterday.
So promoting the network, we had a great Quantum Kirk out this week. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. That was with Coleman. And next on Monday night, another Quantum Kirk has been submitted. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know what episode they're reviewing, but I will give it a watch over the weekend. And on Tuesday night, what?
I look like I have makeup on.
Yeah, you do. And you submitted Quantum Kirk and the video and audio was out of sync. So
listen, stop. Your girl downloading these videos is sabotaging me because now if you're saying that again.
Mean. I watched it.
No. Did you download it from the Google Drive? Because I took screenshots of this because I had to replace the episode already.
Anyway. And on Tuesday night, we've got Mount Rush Kirk episode 4. John from Scranton's there because he doesn't get enough airtime. And next Friday night, we'll be back with Mike and the Minifans. Probably do a Menners live, despite Kirk wanting me to axe it. But yeah, look, thanks. Well, Joe, you wrap it up, BA. It's your show.
Oh, yeah. I think great show. I think making the show
the network. Save the network.
Say Micro Petrocelli.
Save the network.
I think we did a great job bringing the two shows together to one powerhouse show. Menners Live, Mike and the Minifans.
That's what I figured.
Oh shit, that's my Australian calling studio. I set the voice to Australian. Sorry.
But great show, great day on the network, and I think the network has never been better. Under leadership of the Axe and my boss, my CEO, Mad Menners. I just call him Menners. So
Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk